right, guys, welcome back to our podcast, Diagnose Bravo, with your girl Demi.
And Maury.
And this is an emergency episode because a whole lot of shit just came out and we just had to talk about it. I couldn't not talk about it until next Friday or whenever it is that we record these podcasts. I don't know, girl. What day of the week is that? Sunday? Whatever.
Sunday.
So I needed to talk about it today. So we're just gonna have a short emergency episode and we're just gonna talk some shit. All right. So the finale of The Real Housewives of Potomac aired, what was it, Sunday?
Mhm.
And all hell broke loose. And I just needed to talk to my girl Maury about it because it was messy and it was good. So Maury, what do you think about Mia? What do you think about Mia and Gordon, girl?
You know, it's just, I wonder why they got together. I wonder what made
The
them.
money.
But then,
And
like,
because she looked good.
okay. So is it like, was the setup like he got money and I'm not lonely and this is the relationship? Because you still had children out of this. And not to say there wasn't any love, it's just now all of this is aired on TV and your
Girl.
children are going to see this.
Girl.
And did no one think about this far ahead? Are we just fucking and sucking and not, and not thinking about it? I just need to know
Yes.
this mindset.
Hello, Erica Jane and Big Daddy Tom. He was giving her money and she was out here looking good. Um, let's
I
talk about all the Big Papa and Kim.
That's
Although
true.
I have seen what Big Papa looked like. He was out here with the money and she was young and looking the way that she was looking. Like, let's
Looking.
talk about it. These women are out here being scrippers, being in the club, shaking a little tail feather. They meet a nice older gentleman, Ashley Darby and Michael Darby. We already talked about this earlier this week. Do
Yeah.
we really believe that this woman was out here looking at Michael Darby and like, wow, I can't wait to take that home? Nobody was saying that. What she was saying was, wow, he a mogul. He has money. He's established. The man can give me a restaurant. The man can give me the kids. He could pay the prenup. He could pay the postnup. He could pay the child support. And I'm going to just pop it for a real one. And that's okay.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I just feel bad because there's children involved in here. And you're talking about how your children were aware that they were sleeping in a bed or she was sleeping in a bed with Mr. Ink. And it's like, damn, now we're asking who Mr. Ink is. It's just a lot unraveled. And
Bro,
then Gordon
that
to know
shit was
that
wild.
he knew that and was like, I've been new.
I
And
didn't
that's
know he knew. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I saw on Instagram that they were getting a divorce, I was like, I bet. Then, like 3 days later, or like a week later, all of a sudden was, oh, she popping out with a new dude. And I'm like,
yes.
where did this new dude come from? Like, that was quick. Because it wasn't that long after they had filed for divorce that all of a sudden she was with Ink.
Mm.
But although I am messy and I'm a Gemini and I like to mind other people's business, I don't really be in other people's business like that. I understand that there's a contradiction given that we're on a podcast to be in other people's business, but in real life, I don't really be thinking about this shit too much. So I kept it pushing. But now to find out that he was a high school sweetheart, all of a sudden it makes so much sense that she was popping out with this man so quick because she never popped in with the man. She was
Man,
this
been
is
here.
this is old boo. This is historic love. Like
This is historic love.
historic.
It's
That's an
true.
institution, bitch. She got that Karen Huger love. That's an institution. Another
Yeah.
one, Karen Huger and what's that man name? What's that man name?
Forgot.
How we forget that man's name? Ray.
Yes, because Ray minds his business.
Ray
That
is
man is
also
just.
like 30 years older than her.
Mhm.
You telling me you was pulling up, you saw a 50-year-old Ray, and you were like, shiver me timbers. Come on, girl.
Shivering Timbers is wild.
And Ray is a cute old man,
He is with
but
his little pepper hair, salt hair.
yeah. But let's be real. You think that man is giving her the wop wop 3000
Well,
right
that's the
now?
point that Gordon made, because Gordon was saying that I had my prostate cancer, and when you do have prostate cancer, your good bits just don't work. They're having a hard time. And for
They
those
be
who
struggling.
they do, and for those who don't know about how like men's glands work and all that stuff, when it does come to the rectum, that's a very big pleasure point for them. So I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be surprised if it does the opposite when it's messed up in some way. And it's
Yeah,
very common for men to have no libido or not be able to get it up at all because of the colon or the rectum
the
cancer in any
prostate.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
the prostate cancer.
So I mean,
So
sometimes they got to take the whole thing out, and that's important for a lot of different systems down there when it comes to like all of their parts and their bits and stuff. That's really important. So it makes sense
mhm.
that he would no longer be able to please her in the way that she would like.
And he acknowledged
But
that. Yeah.
yeah, but that was still messy
Yeah.
because, and here's my thing, Gordon is not a victim. Gordon is not a victim. Now, do I sympathize for him? Do I actually? I don't sympathize for him. I sympathize for his kids. His kids are the only true victim in this whole situation. Wendy, not Wendy, Mia is not a victim, and Gordon is not a victim. And let me tell you why Gordon is not a victim. Because this man found this young hot thotty in the club, said, I'm gonna take you home, I'll make you a wife. That's cool. We could wife the girls. I like that. But then she had this man that she had been with since she was 16 years old. She then cheats on you. There's a lot of different variations. He says that he cheated on her while they were
Before marriage.
engaged.
Yeah.
She said that she cheated after they were married. Either way, she cheated on you with a man that she brought her kids around, that she had been with forever. This isn't some man that she met at work. She had one sloppy toppy with, and then they never spoke to each other again. Like I said, this is historic love. This is an institution. This man, this man has been all up in her stuff since before her stuff was fully grown. She look, he
Stop.
know. He know that woman biblically. Okay? So all of this stuff happened. You know that they are not only physically cheating but emotionally cheating, and you still took her back. She told you she didn't know whether or not you was the kid's father or he was the kid's father, and you
Yes.
still took her back. My
Yes.
guy. But now all of a sudden, y'all on Real Housewives of Potomac, and you want to say if you want fair, then go to a carnival. Nigga, we all in the carnival. You a clown, she a clown, we all clowns because we sitting here watching this shit. Get out of here. Get
Yeah,
out of
and you
here.
know, like just thinking of the children's perspective, and this isn't a housewife series, but the Love is Blind season 6, Clay talks about how his father would take him with him while he was going to cheat on his mother, and that he would
Yes.
meet these women and go to their house. And he saw that. And not to sympathize with Clay because that man's a fuckboy, but
Heavy on it.
yes, and he talks about how that has affected his view on how he treats women. So
Mm-hmm.
doing that with your children as a mother or as a parent in general does not leave a good taste in your children's development as they learn
Not
how
at
to manage
all.
relationships.
Right.
So if you want to talk about fair, talk about why is no one ever talks about the goddamn kids. I don't
They
understand.
never do. They
And
never
that's
do.
that's where my issue lies.
Yeah.
At first I was like Gordon a victim for real, but then after hearing you, I'm like, yeah, but like takes two to tango
I
here.
mean, you can still feel bad for him because
Yeah.
he did, understand his situation with the prostate cancer. He did say, like, look, I love you. You're still young. You're still popping. She probably still has a libido because she's in her, what, 40s?
Mhm.
Like, that's when your sexual peak is. That's what I've heard, is that the sexual peak for women is in your 40s. I can't wait till I get done and I'm like, pussy popping on a handstand somewhere. But he was like, you're young, you still have a libido, you still want to, have an intimate relationship with a man, go out and get that, but still come home to me. Be discreet, be smart about it. So, like, I can respect that he was able to do that because if there's still love there, why get a divorce? You know what I mean? Like, there are
Yeah.
other ways to fulfill needs. But at the same time, it was just like, bro, she had been cheated on you. She done fucked up the agreement. What else was there to say after that?
Another thing to consider is during this season, the way that she talks about Gordon is making him not seem like a deadbeat, but
Mm-hmm.
just a pity party.
Yeah.
Because she talks about his depression. She talks about how he sat around the couch and wasn't doing the things that he used to do, and that
Yeah.
was why she started feeling distance. And maybe
Yeah.
that can be very valid. You're used to him providing in a certain or being in a certain role, like a provider role, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're not seeing that. Things are different, but marriage is definitely through the hard times and the easy times. So this is
Yeah.
definitely one of the hard times, and you're like bashing him basically on television while getting to sleep around with him with the green card to go.
Yeah.
Like, and Gordon's
And
just here, dick not working.
oh Lord, not the dick don't work.
Dick not working, woman stepping out and woman talking shit in the confessionals about him.
Oh, it was
I would
just
be
so
upset.
bad.
And that's where she brought up that he it really started for him when she brought up that she did marry him for money. Because it's like,
Yeah. Because she
why
was
would
like,
you
maybe
say
I
that?
did. Because she's Mia. And she be saying wild shit, bro. Wasn't she just out here accusing Wendy of giving the womp womp to
Peter
fucking
Thomas.
Peter?
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
wasn't she also the one that was out here telling Karen that she was messing around with the blue-eyed dragon, her driver?
Yes.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on. Mia says wild stuff because that's what Mia does. She thinks it, she says it, it is what it is. But going back to what you were saying about Clay, I think a lot of people forget that your kids are sponges when
Mm-hmm.
they're growing up, when they're in those pivotal years, and they model the behavior that your parents have and they emulate that for themselves. That's why kids are so obsessed with playing house because they
Mm-hmm.
see that. They see mommy, they see daddy. Oh, you be daddy, I'm gonna be mommy. And this little baby doll, this is our baby. And you go to work and you bring home the bacon and I'll come home and I'll cook it and blah, 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 blah. Kids learn that shit from their fucking parents. That's
Yeah.
how they know how to play house because they're internalizing that behavior. Now, if you are out here going to your prostitute's house and having sex with her and the kid is outside in the car waiting for you, what do you think that they're learning in that moment? Kids are not fucking dumb. And
Yeah.
even if they can't verbalize it yet because they're too young, it still imprints on them. I used to work at a nursery and this kid, um he couldn't have been more than like so he
Yeah.
was like 1.5, 2. He's like kind of learning how to talk. And his parents are going through a divorce. Now I don't know what was going on in their household, but from what I understood, it was not like the happiest divorce. Of course not. When you're going through a divorce and your marriage is failing, like shit is bound to not you're not divorcing because everything is kumbaya in your house. You're divorcing because somebody's not happy, somebody's cheating, somebody was stealing money, somebody's being abusive, something's going on. And so this kid who prior to this had no behavioral issues, all he would do is scream and cry and throw things and sometimes bite people
Oh my God.
because he understands that there's unrest in his household. But because he can't speak yet and because he can't verbalize his pain, he's going to act the fuck out. So even when your kids don't speak, even when you think your kids are, even though you think that this is adult stuff and your kids can possibly understand, they understand something. They can understand pain. Pain is a human instinct. It's not something that you need to be taught. It's something that's already ingrained in you.
Mm-hmm.
So when kids are seeing that shit, of course they're going to emulate that. Of course they're going to bring that into their adulthood. Trauma is a thing, people. Go to
Mm-hmm.
therapy. Go to therapy. Get medicated. Trauma is a thing. Your stop bringing your kids around your whole house. Stop doing it.
And
Stop.
that's
It's going to
what
fuck them up.
at some point Clay's parents had a brief conversation in which the dad was like, I didn't know any better because I wasn't raised that way. And the mother stops
Oh,
him, like, listen, that means nothing. It is your job to then to break that pattern and build something different. And you chose
yes.
not to, and that reflected onto him. And then the other crazy part was she didn't even know any of that was happening. They already divorced.
Yes.
she forgave him, she said, but you can see the hurt that she experienced,
Mm-hmm.
and not even as a wife, but as a mother first,
Mm-hmm.
because she knew at that point he was a shit for the shit that he did. But now you've done it in front of my children, and I'm not figuring out till my children are
Yes.
trying to get married. Like,
Yes.
it's long lasting stuff. So like when you're televising this, Demi and I are eating it up. We're like, wow, look at this drama. And then there's just kids in the background that are being raised
Yes,
around this,
yes.
man.
There's a child who now doesn't know who his father is. And I don't know how old that child is, honestly. I think I saw the kids once, and I don't know how long it's been since we've seen them. But that kid probably, if that's the kid that I think it is, he's a little bit older. He has to be like what, anywhere between like 7 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
That kid goes to school. Their parents are out here watching the Real Housewives of Potomac. They are gonna go to their kids like, don't hang out with little Johnny because his mama be sleeping around and she don't know who his daddy is. And then your little snot-nosed kid is gonna go up to this child and be like, and that's why you don't know who your daddy is. And then all of a sudden,
That's not funny.
all of a sudden, because kids are fucked up.
Kids are
Kids are fucked
assholes.
up, bro. They will find out just a little bit of information that you was in a homeless shelter, and then all of a sudden, yeah, because that's why you ain't got no house, bitch. Excuse me? Excuse me?
Kids
What
are
are,
so rude,
what are you
man.
talking about?
So rude.
Like, what are you talking about? So, in the same vein of kids not being shit, so I'm rewatching Criminal Minds. I love Criminal Minds. And the teacher took her class to see the FBI so they could like teach them like, what does one particular student that's like his father. Everyone knows, but that's his father, whatever, that's in the FBI. And so one little girl is like, "Oh, I want to be a profile just like, um just like Jake's dad or whatever the kid's name is." And so the dad goes, Hotch, he's like, "Oh, well, if you get good grades and this is really what you want to do, then you could definitely be a profile." And the little girl, and she's a little black girl, and I'm like, I love this for you, little black girl. But the little black girl goes, "I'm already good at it." And I was like, okay, girl. And she was like, "I'm already good at it because Miss Teacher, she has a crush on Jack's daddy." And everyone's like, "A skirt?" And then
Not
the
the
teacher's
child.
like, yes, the teacher's like, "Girl, like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you saying that? Like, let's go, like the field trip is over." And the girl's like, "No, because you love your cat, and every time you talk about your cat you talk really fast, and every time you talk about Jack's daddy you talk really fast, and you don't talk like this to the other parents' dads, to the other kids' dads." And I'm just like,
That
kids are
child.
evil. Kids are evil. Like, how dare you embarrass me like this in front of the hot dad? What is wrong with
That
you?
is funny.
Kids are the worst. Kids are the worst.
They
So
are.
this is a very long tangent to say, don't embarrass your kids publicly like that. That's something that they will never be able to like recover from. Like, your kids are often an extension of you, and what unfortunately the things that your parents do, your kids face the consequences for. How many times have we seen that people who do OnlyFans, all of a sudden the school finds out? I think this was the case in Florida where the mom was doing OnlyFans and the kid got expelled. Now,
Oh,
mind
damn.
you, do I think that people should be expelled because their moms do OnlyFans? Absolutely not, girl. Make your money. But
Facts.
unfortunately, the things that you do in your personal life directly impact your children. It's just a fact of life.
Mm-hmm.
Should it be? Absolutely not. But this is America, girl. This is the way that the world works. So one day, your kid's gonna be in class, and little fuck up over here is gonna be like, "And that's why your mommy got two baby daddies." And then next thing you know, your son is crying because he don't know who his daddy is.
Yeah.
Like,
The court of public opinion is by far the rudest thing that we got. I
yeah.
mean, there's a couple of other rude pieces, but like that's something that you can't really do anything about except control what's happening publicly or try to. So it's definitely not the best thing. And I just, girl, she coming back next season.
Oh,
It's gonna be a
she
wild
worked for
season.
her check.
Wild. And I can't wait to watch. My prayers go out to that family because that's stress and
Yeah.
strenuous. But I will be there
That
season
shit was
9.
good though. I can't wait to see how this shake out. And mind you, I have not been interested in Potomac all season. I think we're still in the Houston episodes
Mm-hmm.
where they no, it was Austin that they were in. I don't even think we
I
finished the
forgot.
Austin episodes. Like that's how far back it's been since we watched it.
That's because
And
I'm tired
that's
of Robyn's storyline, bro.
and she not caring. But we're gonna talk about Miss Robyn
Mm.
next. But this is the most interesting thing that happened all season. And it's just because of Mia. Nobody else was interesting. It was only Mia. Mia deserves her check. And she has deserved the first seat. She deserved that shit because she single handedly saved Potomac.
Mm.
Kinda, because it's still like half sinking, but she threw a life raft towards Potomac. And we're like, you could bring Potomac back out the water. Like they deserve a second chance of not drowning. You know?
Yeah. And again, it's because of what Demi and I were talking about this. We're happy that Robyn is leaving. We have not really hid that from.
It was just the way that you were like. Anyway, I'm done with this topic. So Juan Dixon roommate is gone.
Finally, because it's just she's like the Teddy Mellencamp of the group, you know. Like there's just nothing
Oh
going on for her, and
yeah,
her entire storyline has been Juan Dixon, and that is not an enjoyable character. He dismisses her.
no,
I don't see, and I'm not saying that he's a bad dad. I don't know what he's like as a father, but I don't even see him interact with his kids besides play ball sometimes. Like I don't. There's no light into what they signed up for, which is showing their life. And it's just her getting berated. And I'm tired of seeing the
yeah.
domestic. I'm tired of give me another domestic because it's
Ugh.
been the same thing for
Give
eight
us the me
years.
and the Gordon domestic. That shit
Yes,
was
give me
great.
that domestic. And it's just bye, you know? Um, but now, we're gonna watch it. It's gonna be great. And that's why we had to do these emergency episodes today, because there was just so much tea
It
going
was just
out.
one after the other. It was just like bong, bong, bong. And I was like, what is happening in the
Yeah.
Bravo world?
If you didn't watch Potomac now, if you didn't watch Potomac then, you're definitely watching it now. So there was
That
just
was
so much
great. Season
trending at the
finale.
same
And
time.
mind you, we still haven't even watched the season finale. These are just things that we saw on TikTok. Like, to be fair, you don't need a prescription, not a prescription, a subscription to anything because they're just going to release all the episodes on TikTok anyway. And that's exactly what happened.
Amazing. So she's gone. And I just can't wait to see if they bring in somebody new. I heard
They
that they
have to.
were.
They
Uh,
have to.
there was something on a Facebook post, a Facebook group that we follow. There was someone there, and they were like, "This is supposed to be the second person," but it was like showing their feet and shoes. That just
Not
wasn't
their
enough for
feet.
me. Feet and
Girl,
shoes.
what?
It was a picture
The
of them
feet.
recording, but like everyone's waist and below. I can't tell people by their legs. Who is this person?
Maybe it'll be Jacqueline. I actually really like Jacqueline.
I like Jacqueline
But I low
too.
key forgot about her. And then she came back and I was like, oh, Jacqueline, what happened to you, girl?
Well,
I
because
like
the whole
Jacqueline.
story that Mia told this season shine light into why she wasn't back on the show as a friend of the show. There was just
Yeah.
so much beef, and Mia, it took her a while to understand what led her to that beef, and
Yeah.
it was a lot for both Mia and Jacqueline. So
Yeah.
hopefully, if she does come back, it's on good terms and not on bad terms. Like I really hope Bravo doesn't take this opportunity to create more drama for Mia, because sometimes they compile that shit on and
Hmm.
just
But one thing I did hear was that, like, outside, I think it was on Instagram or something, that they have made up. They've since talked about it
yay.
and they've made up. And I think they're trying to repair their relationship and stuff like that. So if all of those things are true, like, I think that they're working towards um have a good relationship because I can understand. I mean, that's valid. That if there's any reason to resent a person, as unfortunate as that situation is, I can understand resenting a person. I mean, that was Jacqueline's boyfriend. Jacqueline had left her there, like, and although this was not a setup, like I can like, girl, if it wasn't for how I know you, I wouldn't have been in the situation.
Yeah.
And I can understand, and it makes so much sense So I really hope that they're able to move past this. It seems like in a lot of ways that they have, and I'm glad for them that she's able to move at least past this hurt, because it
Yeah,
did seem like they were genuine friends, but unfortunately when it comes to trauma, like hurt people, and
yeah.
that's just kind
It's
of what
hard not to
happened.
think of the what ifs. And they've been
Yeah.
friends since they were what, middle school it was? So
I wonder, I now this is just being messy now. I wonder if her, Mia, and Ink was just kicking it during high school, because I think they were all three of them knew each other since they were teenagers.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, Jacqueline, now what can you tell us about Mr. Ink? Because that's who I want to hear from. You always got to hear from the best friend about the boyfriend. Girl, what can you tell us about this relationship and how
Yeah.
much of an institution it is? Because that's what I want to know.
I just can't with the institution because
They,
it's really an
girl,
institution.
they were 16.
Yeah,
Mia's like, what, in her mid 40s?
that's a long
That's a
time.
long time to be kicking it with a man, bro.
Yeah, yeah. As a
That's a
married
long
woman,
time to be kicking
yeah.
it with a man.
And it's not like a man friend. This is a lover that you
G-
had and have.
girl,
So,
this is her soulmate. This is her Mia Moore. You wasn't seeing the Instagram? It was MIA in all capitals, Amore.
I did. I saw that and I was like, that woman is in love and
This
love.
is her
She
man, and
doesn't even
she's
talk
sticking
about,
beside him.
yeah, she doesn't even talk about Gordon like that, bro.
Girl, because it was all about the money, money, money. She just wants his money, money, money.
So, like it's just it's there. It's out there.
I need to know. I need her to come back. So she needs to come back. But in the vein of people leaving Potomac, my girl Candy Pants, I am devastated. I'm so sad. I
Candice,
like
yeah.
Candace. I could see why she's leaving. I think that she needs to work on her marriage and making it strong again, because I think that this whole situation with Giselle really fractured her relationship. I think that she needs to worry about getting pregnant, because
Mhm.
she hasn't been able to focus on that. I think she wants to start her family. She wants to work on her career. She's probably tired of being maligned by these witchy ladies.
By the dwindling
But
womb,
no, not the dwindling boom.
the dwindling uterus.
Oh my God.
I
So
didn't
I
say it. I'm just
now
repeating.
you just repeated it. Oh, so sad. Um, oh, so sad. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna miss the things that she was funny.
Yeah,
Even when I didn't like Candice, one thing I could say was that bitch made me laugh.
every
Like, she
time.
was funny. Even when I was like, oh, Candice, like, stop. She always made me laugh. And so I think we're gonna miss that level of like high drama when it
Hmm.
comes to her, because her drama, although this drama was very serious, her very high drama was just very unserious. It was like, girl, with the triangle in your eye again, with the, and one thing I liked about Candice is that she was always singing about something, and that's something that I do, is like, I just randomly burst into song and dance. I am my own musical everywhere I belong on Broadway. And Candace will be like, instead of just being like, hello, she'll be like, hello. And that will be me. I just be walking in the room singing shit. And I felt that about Candace. I was like, we're singing twins in that way.
Yeah,
And I like that. Um, I honestly, I mean, she was young, she was cute. I love the way she dressed. I loved her husband. I follow him on TikTok. I like watching him cook. I wish that he could cook more on screen. Honestly, I
yeah.
think that Candice and her husband, Chris, should make their own reality show, and she should just be out here singing, and he should just be cooking. And it's like a cooking show, but she shows up and she sings.
I love that. Bravo should
Yes.
totally do
Producer,
that.
executive producer credit. Thank you. Candice, if you take this idea, girl, you don't even gotta pay me much. Just pay me the finder's fee and just put me on the credits. Thank you, girl. Cause I gotta pay my student loans. So I need something. I need a little bit of something, something.
Help
But
a bitch.
Yeah, just help me out, girl. I just need 60K to pay these student loans off. But other than that, you ain't got to pay me again. Just put me in the credits, girl. So
Yeah,
I
and
think that's what they should do.
yeah, and I saw this season how she, and I don't want to say like withdrawn, but she had her own things going on. She didn't really have the attention span to entertain housewives in this season so far that we've seen. And she talks about her touring. She talks about how expensive that is. And it's a process building that career. You need an audience, you need traction, you need good marketing team, you need a good PR team, and you need money. And not to say that the housewife franchise doesn't bring in money, but it's hard to divert your focus to divide your focus like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised. Even in her what's that called, reunion picture, it's her holding the
Yeah.
mic. Like you can see where
Yeah.
her priorities are. She wants
Yeah.
to pursue
Go
that
on
and
tour.
yeah, do that. And just more than like 10 cities. Like she deserves that. She sings, she works hard. It's all
Mm-hmm.
on her social media. She's also had issues trying to conceive. And
Yeah.
how many blows has her marriage taken because of the show in some way? So I'm not surprised. And I think that it's a great moment to step away and focus on herself. That's
Yeah.
perfectly great. She has so many
I
other things going
agree.
on. So
And
I will miss her.
they have a young marriage, I think they've only been married maybe 5 years. They got married like a year after she was on there. I think she's been on the show for like 6 years. I want to say anywhere between 4 to 5 years they've been married.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not getting any younger. Like she wants to start popping out some. What do you think about her comments about having light skinned babies?
I don't know. I don't know. I would prefer her just not say what preferences that she wants for her skin.
Yeah,
Like that's where
yeah,
I stand on that. Like you
yeah,
shouldn't want a preference for the color of your child. Uh
yeah,
it's giving why, it's giving sus questions. It's like, so what if
yeah,
they come out lighter? Like what's wrong with that? Or if they do come out darker, what's wrong with that? Like why are we
yeah,
still why is this a topic?
yeah. A
It's
lot of
weird.
people were on her ass on the Facebook, on the TikTok, on everything, and uh, I understand why people are upset, but I don't agree with them as to why they're upset. Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is colorism," and I'm like, "No, it's not. That's not." God, these people make me so tired. That's literally not what colorism is. Is it weird to say? Yes. Is that what colorism is? No. Colorism would be to say, oh, I got with a white man so my babies could be light skinned. That's colorism. That is not what she said. Stop taking a buzzword that you heard from Potomac and
Hmm.
applying it to Candice because you want something to hate. Stop doing it. Thank you. Anyway, I agree. Honestly, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with there's no need to even bring that up. Honestly, we want our kids to be happy and healthy, but I also understand that like I almost want to say it's like a culture thing.
Mm,
And when she said it, I was wondering if that's what her vibe was. Because Candice is bliggity black. Like
yeah.
her family is like bliggity black. Like they are a proud black institution. Her parents are proud black educated people. Candice is proud black educated people. And I think that a lot of times, and not to speak about biracial people and their experiences because I don't have those experiences, but like I've said before, I am a light-skinned black person, much like Giselle and the other one, Juan Dixon roommate. I forgot what her name was. Juan Dixon roommate. I am a person who has both black parents, but is very light-skinned. And so although I do not have the biracial experience, I have had those identities where I am black, both of my parents are black, I come from a black nation. However, I sometimes get the, oh, the biracial experience, because people ask me like, oh, who's white in your family, your mom or your dad? Or like, oh girl, you're not really that black because you're not from this area, or you don't speak like this, or you know, watch anime, or whatever people want to say about who you are and the assumptions that they make. And so I'm wondering if she says those things, or she said that thing because if her kids have darker skin, they'll be more rooted in their culture and be more rooted in their blackness. And I can say that because of the color of my skin, sometimes I have not always been able to be rooted in my blackness, especially because I come from the suburbs where 90% of the people that live there, well, maybe not 90, but a lot of the people that live there were white. And so I had a lot of identity issues coming up as I was growing up as a kid because culturally, I wasn't surrounded by a lot of Black people. I wasn't surrounded by a lot of Caribbean people. I was surrounded by a lot of white people. And I don't necessarily give bliggity black all the time when you see me walking down the street. Now I do because your girl got locks. But back then, my hair was permed. I was out here dressing like Abercrombie and Fitch and all those other places. And then I started dressing from Hot Topic, and then I was just out here being emo. It was a whole thing. So I can see why I can, if it's coming from a cultural place, I can understand more as to why she said that, because it's honestly hard to be a part of a culture if you don't look like you're a part of the culture.
Mhm.
Like as
Also,
simple
you're
as
like,
that.
you're so proud of that culture and you want your children to be proud in that culture.
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone raises their black child that way. Like
Yeah.
the way that I was raised, I'm actually chocolate skinned, but I was always raised in the eye of we're victims. Black people are targets. Black people are under the radar on purpose. Like that's how we were raised. And
Mm-hmm.
it did not allow me to feel close to my black culture at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to teach that confidence in who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And and I could see how she would want to do that for her children, because like look at her mother. Her mother wants her to be up. She wants her children to be up. Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
that's just a way that one should raise their children. So I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised that's why she said that. But you're saying this publicly, and she's always been the type to say whatever the fuck she wants, regardless of how other people
Yeah.
feel. So I just, if it were me, I would not have said that out loud.
Yeah.
I would have
You
kept that
know,
between me and Chris.
I would have put that in my diary and then shut the diary. Like, let's not. Sometimes there are inside thoughts and there are outside thoughts. And that was an inside thought to write in
Yeah.
her diary and to not say outside in public, at least, because these people are wild. I also feel like people just want to hate on Candice just to hate on Candice.
Yeah.
Um,
She's a strong black woman who gets what she wants.
who says what the fuck she wants and who's educated and who's talented? Hello,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. But yeah, Candice.
We'll miss
Candice,
you.
I get you. Candice, we gonna talk. When you do this show, we gonna have a conversation and we gonna be friends.
Yes.
I manifest this for myself
We can
and for
record it
Candice.
and put it on the pod. Yes.
Facts.
But yeah, that's our episode, y'all. We were just really excited to talk about this. We have
Yeah.
a whole episode we didn't even edit yet, and we're going to edit this
No.
one first because of how much
Yeah.
drama has happened in 3 days.
It was a lot, and we just could not wait to talk about it.
Yes, tea was piping hot, and we're here for
Mm-hmm.
it, and we had to tell
Yeah.
y'all. As
Yeah, we had to talk
usual,
about it.
drink water, do something y'all
Mm-hmm.
enjoy today.
Yeah. Crochet a little something. Me and Maury have been crocheting like madmen, making
Yeah.
baby blankets, making scarves and whatnot. Try some crocheting. Wintertime is a good time to be domestic. You start to crochet, you start to cook that rib sticking food, like you do all of that during the wintertime. And then the summertime you become a thought again. And that's just how we
Yes.
live our life.
It's such a great time.
It
I'll
is a
see
great
y'all.
time. Bye now.